From the cheap $2 million Bugatti Veyron all the way to Bugattis worth nearly $19 million. Bugatti has created so many insane hypercars over the years that it honestly starts getting confusing. Some were built for top speed, some were designed for corners, and some feel less like cars and more like rolling pieces of art. So today we're breaking down every major modern Bugatti from the least expensive to the most expensive, explaining roughly what each one costs and what actually makes it special. Starting with the car that changed everything, the Bugatti Veyron. When it launched, the Veyron cost around $1.7 million, which already sounded ridiculous at the time, but the car itself was even crazier. Under the hood sat an 8-liter quad turbo W16 engine producing over 1,000 horsepower, enough to push this luxury machine past 250 miles per hour, and that's what made the Veyron so shocking. Most cars this fast feel raw, uncomfortable, and aggressive. The Veyron didn't. It had leather everywhere, smooth ride quality, and the kind of cabin you'd expect in a luxury limousine. It felt like Bugatti wanted to prove that a car could be insanely fast without sacrificing comfort. But building something like this was unbelievably difficult. The car needed massive cooling systems, enormous air intakes, and engineering solutions nobody had attempted before. This wasn't just a hypercar. It was basically a rolling science experiment covered in leather and carbon fiber. Then Bugatti pushed things even further with the Veyron Super Sport. Power jumped to around 1,200 horsepower, and it became the world's fastest production car at nearly 268 miles per hour. At that point, Bugatti wasn't just building fast cars anymore. They were rewriting what people thought was physically possible. After the Veyron, most people thought Bugatti couldn't possibly top it. Then the Chiron arrived. Starting around $3 million, the Chiron somehow made the Veyron look normal. Its quad turbo W16 now produced nearly 1,500 horsepower, pushing the car to over 260 miles per hour while still feeling smoother than most luxury sedans. And the engineering behind it is honestly insane. The Chiron uses 10 radiators just to manage heat. At full speed, the engine pulls in so much air every minute that it almost sounds impossible. Yet despite all that madness, the car still feels elegant. The interior is clean, minimal, and incredibly expensive looking, with details carved from solid aluminum and materials that feel more like high-end architecture than automotive design. That's the weird magic of the Chiron. It feels civilized and violent at the exact same time. Then Bugatti created the Chiron Super Sport 300 Plus. This was the car built specifically to break the 300 mile per hour barrier. With a longer aerodynamic tail and even more power, the prototype reached over 304 miles per hour. Only 30 were made, instantly turning it into one of the most legendary Bugattis ever built. Next is the Chiron Pur Sport, priced around $3.6 million. This version completely changed the personality of the Chiron. The regular Chiron was designed for high-speed luxury cruising. The Pur Sport was built for corners. Bugatti shortened the gear ratios, stiffened the suspension, reduced weight, and made the car feel far more aggressive. Top speed actually dropped compared to the normal Chiron. But Bugatti didn't care. This car wasn't about maximum speed anymore. It was about making a 1,500 horsepower Bugatti feel more alive on twisty roads. Even visually, the Pur Sport looks angrier. The giant rear wing, aggressive aero pieces, and sharper setup make it feel much more focused. If the normal Chiron feels like a luxury suit, the Pur Sport feels like that same suit after someone rolled up the sleeves and started a fight. Then came one of Bugatti's biggest changes ever, the Tourbillon. Priced at roughly $4.1 million, this car marks the end of the legendary W16 era. Instead, Bugatti introduced a naturally aspirated V16 paired with electric motors producing nearly 1,800 horsepower combined. But the real story isn't just the power, it's the design philosophy. Most modern hypercars are filling their interiors with giant digital screens. Bugatti went the opposite direction. The Tourbillon used uses an incredibly detailed analog gauge cluster designed with Swiss watchmakers. The instrument cluster contains hundreds of tiny parts and sits behind sapphire crystal. It looks more like an expensive mechanical watch than a car dashboard. Even the steering wheel has a fixed center, so the gauges always stay perfectly upright. The whole car feels like Bugatti trying to preserve mechanical beauty in a world becoming fully digital, which makes the Tourbillon feel strangely futuristic and old school at the same time. Next is the Bugatti Bolide at around $4.7 million. This is Bugatti with absolutely no interest in comfort. The Bolide is a track-only monster. Everything unnecessary was removed to reduce weight and maximize performance. Massive wings, extreme aerodynamics, brutal cooling systems. The whole car looks closer to a Le Mans prototype than a road car. One of the craziest details is the roof scoop, which actually changes shape depending on airflow. Basically, the car develops goosebumps at high speed, and somehow that's real engineering. There's no luxury first personality here, no smooth grand touring comfort. The Bolide exists for one reason only: pure speed around a racetrack. It feels less like a hypercar and more like a fighter jet with wheels.